going to close with this. We don't like to make you miserable all the time, just most of the time, because we have to report the news as it exists. But there is a way out of this mess politically. And I'm going to point to a poll that was released last week by a Democracy Corps. That's a group run by Stan Greenberg, who's a longtime Democratic pollster. He co-authored this study. Stan Greenberg and another pollster went back to Macomb County in Michigan. That's a county that Barack Obama carried twice, and without which Trump might not have carried Michigan in 2016. It's also where Stan Greenberg first studied Reagan Democrats in 1985 to find out why they went for Donald Trump this time around. It's really important. First of all, you can't dismiss an entire population, call them all racist, because this is a county that went for Barack Obama twice. Why? Because some voters who voted for Trump voted for Obama before, and because some of the voters who are racist and so on stayed home, while some of the Democratic voters all went to vote that time and stayed home this time. So it's a very, very important source of study. And the study says something I think is really, really important. It says this. It says Democrats don't have a white working class problem, as so many have suggested. They have a working class problem that includes working people in their own base. That says perfectly what some of us have been trying to say for a long time. You can appeal to some of these so-called blue-collar white voters, some of whom voted for Trump, with the same policies that will reach your own Democratic base of working voters and get them out to vote too. Now, this is a really interesting study because it says a couple things. First of all, these voters don't yet regret voting for Donald Trump. They don't have buyer's remorse. They tend to believe Trump, and we could talk a lot about why that might be, but look, here's what they found, and it's worth repeating. A lot of these voters you'll never get. We've been saying that all along because they're racist, they're Islamophobic, whatever. Okay, but many other voters are persuadable. These voters don't trust congressional Republicans. They put Trump in a different category. Well, I would argue he's not. Most of them felt that, quote, anything was better than Hillary Clinton. The Democrats put up a bad candidate. That is not to be denied any further. Now, some of these voters are shaken by the fact that, despite promising to drain the swamp, that Trump has what the pollsters called a cabinet of $1 million campaign donors, bailed out bankers from Goldman Sachs, and so on. So it's not that they can't be persuaded; it's that nobody tried to persuade them. But they could be persuaded in the future with the right approach, which gets us to the last point. A majority of these voters were very open to Democrats like Senator Brown, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren, who oppose trade deals, want to protect consumers from Wall Street, oppose corporate tax breaks, and will bar secret campaign money so government works for the middle class. The report concludes that's the kind of change they were hungry for. Listen, how often do Democrats need to get these data points before they stop listening to their corporate donors and start listening to the voters? Until they do that, they are going to stay out of power, and no conspiracy theory will change that.